Okay, hi guys. I'm sorry about the technical problems we had earlier today. So here you'll get this webinar sent to you afterwards instead. I hope that works fine. If you have any questions, please reach out to me. My contact information will be at the end of the presentation. My name is Jakob Twedmark. I'm the CEO of Motillo. We are a consulting firm specializing in e-commerce projects. We've been a premium partner with Litium for a while now, and we got awarded the Litium Partner of the Year for 2020, which was a great honor. So thank you very much for that. One of our focus platforms is, of course, the Litium platform, but the presentation today is stuff that you can do with basically any platform, any e-commerce platform. So it's not narrowed down to only Litium users. So here are a few of the things that you will learn in the next 30 minutes. First, even though the title for this presentation is how to increase conversion rates and lifetime value for your customers, I'm also going to talk a little bit about why conversion rates is not your most important metric when it comes to e-commerce performance. It is, of course, an important metric, but there are also other metrics that might be even more important. And it might sometimes even make sense to lower your conversion rates in order to make more sales. I'm going to talk a little bit how to track your digital marketing and how you can calculate if it is profitable or not, and to avoid getting manipulated by your ad agency. Ad agencies aren't evil people. But sometimes there might be some confusions on the metrics that you use when you track your ads. So I'm going to talk about that. I'm also going to talk about how you can get customer feedback as close to real time as possible. I think the time has passed for when you do this once per year. Within consumer businesses, feedback comes regularly through reviews and stuff. And you can also do it on the site in real time. So I'm going to give you a couple of examples for that. After that, we'll dig into social media marketing and how you can get more value from your Facebook and Instagram ads. And last but not least, I'll dig into marketing automation flows and what you can do quite easily, and perhaps get started with some of these ideas later today. So first of all, when tracking e-commerce performance, I think it makes sense to talk a little bit about why you should measure and how you should measure, and which metrics are most important. So let's discuss what the different KPIs, key performance indicators, that might be relevant to you. When you track and analyze your e-commerce, these are probably a few of the metrics that you're familiar with. Revenue, of course, conversion rate, customer acquisition costs, which is the cost through ads that's needed to make a purchase. The return on ad spend is related to the customer acquisition cost, which is basically if you put $1 into ads, how many dollars will you get back in sales? We can also talk a little bit about micro conversion rates. The e-commerce conversion rates above is more of an actual purchase on the site, but there are also a lot of stuff happening on the site that is relevant to track. It could be add to cart rate, it could be a user using the search function, it could be a user signing up for the newsletter. So there's more than just purchases that you can track. Users, recurring users, break it down by specific channels. So these are only examples of stuff that's often being used. I'm sure you've seen most of them, perhaps all of them. So we're going to select two of these, and we're going to talk about the return on ad spend first of all, and then we're going to talk more about the e-commerce conversion rate. So first of all, return on ad spend, ROAS, is a key metric that you've probably seen if you run Facebook ads or Google ads. It's a metric that shows you how profitable your different ad sets are. How much sales will you get back from the specific ad spend that you have? The default way to track this, if you look into Facebook ad reporting, or if you have an ad agency helping you with this, the most common way is just to take a look at how much sales has been generated through this ad and what did it cost us, the cost of ads. And in this case, let's say, for example, we get 10,000 euros worth of sales during a period. And during the same time, we had an ad media spend of 2,500. This is the normal equation for this, which 10,000 divided by 2,500 is an ROAS of 4. So it means we spend $1 and we get $4 back, which is probably a pretty good metric. However, what the Facebook ad system or the Google ads doesn't know is the cost structure behind your sales. And that is something that you need to dig into a little bit. So let's do the same equation, but in a little bit different way. So say we have the same amount of sales, 10,000 euros, which is normally including VAT, value added tax, moms in Swedish, and that is money that we don't get to keep. So the real sales, if this was a Swedish example, would be 8,000 euros, excluding VAT. Naturally, we have a cost of sold goods. In case we don't have digital products, which could be 100% profit margin, but let's just say, for example, that we have a 40% gross profit margin on this sale, which is our actual profit for this. That means that we take 8,000 times 0.4, the 40%, which means that we have a profit of 3,200. So we still have the same ad cost as in the previous example, which gives us an ROAS of 1.28. If I'm seeing correctly here, I have a bar above the numbers here. So, and that doesn't have to be a bad metric though, but it's the same amount of sales, but a totally different ROAS. So this is something, whenever you see that metric in the reporting, in the report somewhere, keep this in mind and do your own calculation. You don't have to tweak or change anything in the implementation if you don't want to. You can still have the same reporting that it shows, for example, as a ROAS in this example, but you need to know that 4 doesn't mean that you get 4 times back for that spend. It could be a lot less, so keep that in mind. And of course, sorry, let's go back here. Which ROAS you should aim for is it could be really different depending on what you're selling and your own margins. So take an example sale that you've recently done and break it down into cost structure, and you will find out your own which break-even ROAS you should aim for. Okay, let's continue in the conversion rate. I think you already know how to calculate conversion rates. It is number of transactions divided by number of users, and we'll get a percentage. And it shows us usually how well our e-commerce site is performing. So the question is, what is a good conversion rate? And I think the answer is that it all depends. It's hard to say that. I mean, there are averages for e-commerce sites that you can look into. I think the most recent number is about 2%. However, it doesn't matter what your competitors have as a conversion rate. It should only matter what you have on your site and what you can do to improve it, because it relates to a lot of stuff. It's not only how well designed or user-friendly your site is. So this is an example from one of our customers. You can see the graph that shows the conversion rate week by week during this year. And of course, you can see that it goes up and down a lot. And it's not that we've been doing a lot of changes on the site. It is other stuff that is happening in sort of outer factors. For example, they started out the year with a pretty good sale, which increased the conversion rates, and after that sale was over, we had a drop in conversion rate. At the same time, one of their major competitors started running their campaigns, which pushed it down a bit. There was a new line of products released, which was in high demand for that. Later that year, this client started working more with the email and the email campaigns, which in turn increased the conversion rate. We had a vacation period in Sweden, and the kind of products that this site is selling doesn't sell as much during the summertime. Users are still there, but they're not placing orders in the same amount. And they had a free shipping campaign during a week. So these are some sort of normal fluctuations on conversion rate. So whenever you're thinking about the conversion rate differences week to week, make sure that you keep in mind if there are external factors that could affect your conversion rate. I think if you use Google Analytics, it makes sense to track those kinds of events by typing in annotation. It's called the small arrow bar at the bottom of the screen. There is a way that you can add annotation, which is basically comments. So you can just type in, we had a Black Friday campaign, or we had something else. So then you can remember it later on when you browse through the numbers. And I also think it's a good idea to not just track conversion rate overall on the entire site, but break it down by, for example, channel. In this case, we can see that we have quite a big difference in conversion rate by channel. Display advertising is the least performing here, 0.13%, and branded paid search through Google Ads is the best performing when it comes to conversion rate. So the total conversion rate on the site could also be affected by how your different channels are performing. So I think it makes sense to use the conversion rate as a tool more than a specific goal. I don't think it's that important really to set a goal that we want our conversion rate to be this, because it depends on too many other factors. For example, if you started running more campaigns into sort of cold audiences that's not really ready to buy at the moment, but you're tracking email addresses and collecting leads and preparing to more retargeting ads later on, you might see a drop in conversion rate, but instead you might even see an increase in sales, even though the conversion rate is lower. So still, we want to, of course, increase the conversion rate, and there are two sort of main ways to do that. One is just look at best practices from the industry. This is a screenshot from the leaked document called a Retail Playbook for E-commerce that was released by accident by Google. It might have been planned, I don't know, but still there are a lot of tips and pointers in this document. For example, search that Google recommend that you always keep the search box visible, implement spelling corrections. We see a lot of examples for example search that about only 10% of the visitors on the site use site search, but those 10% make up for about 50% of the total sales. So of course it makes total sense to work a lot with the search function. Also in the sort of end funnel in the checkout, so best practice now to remove the main menu and only have a backlink to remove distractions. So that's one way. The other way is to take a look at your own site and see, are there any specific needs for our customers that we should take care of? I'm going to give you an example of what we've done with one of our customers, which is a jeans brand called Saburo Jeans. The first thing I think you should do is step away from the screen and instead observe customers that aren't as familiar with your site as you are by yourself. And there are tools to do that. I mean, you can ask a friend and observe them and let them speak freely about their experience when they're navigating through the site, or you can use tools like Hotjar, which is a tool that we use a lot. And one way to use Hotjar is to just ask questions to customers. And you could ask them, for example, why are you visiting us today? That could be a question on any site. If they're on the product page, you might want to know if they're missing any information on that specific page. If they reached checkout and they've been there for 30, 40, 50 seconds, you could ask them if is there anything stopping you from completing a purchase. And you will get a lot of interesting information this way. And you can target like 10% of the visitors if you don't want to disturb everyone, or you can run it to everybody for a week or two until you reach enough information. So this is what we did for our customer Saburo Jeans. They sell for jeans on their site mainly in Scandinavia, but in total 35 countries. So this is the product page seen on desktop. What we did here was we wanted to see why we didn't get more people buying these jeans. So we asked a question. If you can see it there, it says, "Is there anything stopping you from making a purchase?" And the most common response was that they were unsure of the size. They didn't know which size to use. It could be difficult to shop jeans online, especially if it's a new brand that you have never heard of before. So what we did was earlier we had basically a size table and a chart that you could see and sort of find your own size using that. However, we noticed that wasn't being used enough. So we made a video showing how to measure your jeans. Where should you measure your waist, for example, and made it an interactive form with 3 steps, really easy to fill out. That was the first step. The second thing was that we realized that a lot of guys don't have a measuring tape at home, so we needed to fix that as well. So we started a campaign which runs here in Sweden now. So if you're in Sweden and you visit the site, you will get the possibility to order your free measuring tape, which of course is also a good way for this client to gather leads and email addresses. But the result from this was we did see an increase in conversion rate. And as a bonus, there was also a lower return rate on this product because they had measured the product correctly before they made a purchase. So that was a good idea for this kind of product. Okay, we'll continue. Social media advertising is I think a lot harder today to make profitable. There are more people advertising than ever before, which means that the prices are higher. When you advertise on Facebook and Instagram, you pay for every view of your ads, no matter how many people click on them. So you need to focus and make the content on the ads as relevant and interesting as possible. And you also need to think about how you target and who you target. So the main problem, as I see it, is that people are not on Facebook and Instagram to buy something right now. That's not why they're there. They're socializing with friends or killing time, sitting on the bus. But we have a possibility to reach them and then continue talking with them afterwards. But it's really hard to drive direct conversions to an audience that doesn't know you before. So you need to slow it down a little bit. And when you're running ads to a cold audience, and by cold audience I mean people who hasn't shown any interest in your products before, they don't know you yet. So you need to let the customer get to know you a little bit more, and gradually then talk more about what you actually want them to do. So these are a few examples for the same brand as before. These are different ads, which is targeting people who's never interacted with this brand before. So we can't just show them a product image and the price. We want to tell a story about the brand first. So we decided to talk a lot about the founder, who's called Per, who's been working a lot in the fashion industry for 40 years. And we've also made some ads that's talking about the problem when buying jeans online. So the second one here is the one who gets the most clicks for the same budget as the other one. And we also created content on the site to match these different types of ad content. For example, when we made a keyword analysis, we noticed that a lot of people search for what to wear with black jeans, both in English and Swedish. And so we wanted to create content on the page that matches this. So this is one of the pages, part of the blog for the site. We also produced videos with the stylist showing how to match black jeans with different kinds of clothing. Except for using these as a relevant landing pages for the ads, it's also ranking really high now on searches regarding black jeans and what fits black jeans. This is in Swedish, where we get the top position for this search. This is one example. And then once we've gotten some interest from them, it could be that they watched more than half of the video. It could be that they visited the site. It could be that they clicked on a link or liked it. After that, we put them in a new audience, which is a little bit warmer, and then we run retargeting ads. And at this point, it works better, a lot better, to actually try to sell the product. So I think if you try this method out, I think you're going to see a lot better performance. So we'll move on. How to increase sales through email marketing. First of all, the email list is really valuable, and the more you can make it grow, the more value it generates, of course. And the way to make that grow, I think this is an example, which is a really common example, that you put a little box and the field at the bottom of the page. You need to scroll deep to find this. And my best guess is this probably converts 0.5% of the visitors to leave their email. No more than 0.5%. I think you should experiment a little bit and dare to be a little bit more bold when it comes to asking for the email address. This is we use a tool called Opt-in Monster, which allows us to target visitors in specific ways. In this case, it's a standard exit intent, which triggers when someone on desktop moves their mouse up to the address field. That is a signal that they're about to leave the site. Then this pop-up appears, and we ask for their email for a chance to win a pair of jeans. This converts about 3.2%, 3.3% of the visitors on the site. This is another example that we're trying out at the moment. Sort of a fun way to get a discount on the site. They enter their email, spin the wheel, and they will get a discount. This converts almost 9% of the people who get to see it. And another way is to interact more with the customer. So instead of just displaying pop-ups, we can make them take part in quizzes or ask questions. And in this example, we made it a virtual stylist for this jeans brand, and we let the user just easily click on images of styles that they like. This has been a massive converter when it comes to email addresses. But 22% of the users who started that quiz are leaving their email address. So this is the biggest source of new email addresses at the moment. And once we get a hold of an email address, we want to keep delivering value to them. And there are different ways to do that. I think a lot of the marketing automation talk that is being done is regarding how we can do stuff with the customer after their purchase. I think we should talk a lot about what we can do before the purchase to increase, to actually make them become a customer in the first place. So these are cart abandonment. I'm sure you're familiar with. Back in stock notifications, also a good way to collect email addresses. And once you have them, it's really easy to set up a couple of emails targeted with good content. It should be great content, and about 5 to 7 different emails over a period of, say, 3 weeks, where you put your effort into creating really good content on those emails instead of sort of stressful creating content that is sent out only once. So these are content pieces that are being used for perhaps a year and sent out automatically to all the new users. I'm going to give you an example in just a minute. There are also different ways to win back, and win back we mean how can we get an existing customer to come back and make a new purchase. It could be stuff like "we miss you," sent out a couple of months after the latest purchase. It could be a happy birthday celebration, and we can ask them to review our products and the products that they have been using, or just general ask for feedback, see if they're willing to help us become a better store. And this is an example again from this jeans brand. So every new email that we collect, we send them 7 different emails over a period of 3 weeks. The first is the one that we see here on the screen. It tells a story about Per. It's an interview video with him that he explains his history and all he's done before, and now why he started this new brand. A couple of days later, we let the customer take a look inside the actual factory, so total transparency. We talk about the benefits for the workers and their salary levels, and that the jeans are produced with 100% organic cotton. And we have a couple of more items after this as well. This is an example of a win-back automation that's been sent out a couple of months after their latest purchase, if they have purchased anything. So in this case, we want to have sort of a fun, humoristic touch to the copywriting as well. This is another example. My latest birthday was this summer. I got on my birthday, I got a congratulations from Bangerhead. However, unfortunately for them, Lyko made a congratulations in advance the day before, so they got my purchase this time. So sometimes the birthday congratulation isn't enough. You need to be one step ahead of that. So to sum up, I wanted to know what is the single most important topic in e-commerce for the next year. And I asked someone who has been in the e-commerce industry for at least the last 20 years. His name is Arne B. Andersson. He's been a senior e-commerce advisor for PostNord for a long time. He's just joined our board here at Motillo, which is a lot of fun. His answer to this question was loyalty. It is the key to a lot, especially when it comes to gaining profitable long-term growth in e-commerce. So keep that in mind as the last word from me. If you have any questions or want to discuss this more, or if this was too basic and you want to talk about more advanced stuff, whatever it is, please reach out by email or by contact through LinkedIn or our website at motillo.se. Thanks a lot for listening. Bye.